Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. 50 years ago today, the band Free, known for All Right Now, performed its last concert on February 17, 1973, allowing its members to form the new iconic classic rock band Bad Company. I spoke with drummer Simon Kirke when he played the Rock and Roll for Children benefit in Bethesda, Maryland in 2015.
Hi, I'm WTOP Entertainment Editor Jason Fraley, and I'm here with Simon Kirke, who you guys know as the drummer of Bad Company and some other bands. I think, weren't you also in Free?
I was in Free, yeah, many years ago, and I did 4 tours with Ringo Starr.
You've been around here on the rock scene.
I've been around quite a bit, Jason, yeah.
So tell me how you first found out about the event for the children's charity.
Well, I was actually at a charity event a couple of months ago, and I ran into Christine Oldman, who's a wonderful singer, and she asked if I would be interested in forming a band, you know, to support this charity, this foundation to help disadvantaged kids. And I said, yeah, you know, anything to do with kids, I'm there. You know, I have 4 kids myself. I have 5 grandchildren. So, you know, anything to do with children who are at a disadvantage, you know, I'm there. And then John Belinkie called me officially, you know, a couple of weeks later, and he mentioned Mark Rivera, who I played with in Ringo Starr's All-Star Band. Mm-hmm. We did a couple of tours together, and he said there was going to be sort of an all-star band, and yeah, great, wonderful. They're a wonderful bunch of musicians.
So this event isn't just you guys auctioning off rock memorabilia. You're actually going to be performing too?
Oh yeah, we've got a whole set lined up. I'm going to be singing a couple of songs, All Right Now, and Can't Get Enough, and maybe Shooting Star, and it's going to be about 20 songs. So it's going to be a big event.
You just named 3 songs of my childhood riding around in the car with my dad. I love it. all 3 of those songs are some of my all-time favorites. That's great stuff.
Oh, thank you. It's good to know that, the music manages to jump from generation to generation. So that makes me very happy.
I find that especially with classic rock. What do you think it is about that era of music that makes it I think it's kind of timeless.
I think it's timeless, and one of the main reasons, I think there's no computers involved.
Right, exactly. There's no auto-tune and that sort of stuff.
It's just real. What you hear is really what was put on the tape, and there's a certain charm and magic to it that you just don't get on Pro Tools and, as you say, auto-tune and drum loops and drum machines. So written by real people with real problems.
Yeah, written by real people with real problems, and also performed by, like yourself. There's an actual drummer. It's not a computer beat you're listening to. I mean, I maybe that's just my own personal opinion, but I dig that music so much more because there's actually a person behind each instrument you're hearing on the record.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But anyway, back to the event. Talk about some of the people you're going to be playing with.
Well, I mentioned Mark Rivera, and there's Ricky Byrd, who's with Joan Jett on the Blackhearts. There's Jeff Kazee, a wonderful keyboard player, who's played with Bon Jovi. John Conte on bass. He plays with Southside John and the Asthma Jukes. As I said, Christine Oldman, who's a fantastic singer. I know there are more, but I don't have the list with me. But it's shaping up to be a really good night. And also, we've just got on board Sean Pelton as a second drummer who plays with the Saturday Night Live band. He's a wonderful drummer. And I asked specifically to have him on board to relieve me of some of the drumming duties. I mean, I can play 20 songs easily, but this guy is such a wonderful drummer. It'd be nice to have him on board. And we're going to be playing 2 kits. We're going to be doing 3 or 4 songs together. I'm going to be playing about 7 or 8 songs. He'll play 5 or 6 songs, and then we'll do 3 or 4 together. So that should be very interesting. He's a great drummer.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's going to be at the Bethesda Blues and Jazz Club in Bethesda, and it's to, let's just remind the listeners, it's to benefit the Children's Inn at NIH, National Institutes of Health. And there's also going to be an auction with a bunch of your instruments. Do you know anything about the auction part or just the show?
Actually, I don't, Jason, no.
Just in terms of the music, though, did you, over the years, I mean, I'm sure you play all your hits over and over again. You mentioned several of them. Do you have a personal favorite from Bad Company that you love to drum on the most? Or on the flip side, any songs you're tired of playing?
Actually, no. I still like playing them, all of them. There are several that I really love playing. Shooting Star is always a joy to play because it's got such a great message behind it.
Right.
And Bad Company. I mean, I love playing Bad Company because of the mood and the light and shade that is in that song. Burning Sky is a great funky song to play. Rocksteady, you know. Feel Like Making Love. I played that to death.
Right.
It still manages to kick along, but no, I love them all. I'm easy.
In Shooting Star, you know, it opens with Johnny was a schoolboy when he heard his first Beatles song, and then you went on and you know did some playing with Ringo too. It's funny. Do you remember when you heard your first Beatles song?
Oh, what a good question. I think it was
Never got that one before?
No, that's a very good one. I believe it was She Loves You. I think their first hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was back in 64. I was 15 years old, and it really changed my life.
Do you remember where you were?
They wrote it together. I was in my little house in England, and we were listening to a station called Radio Luxembourg, because the BBC played very, very straight, very staid music, but there was this sort of pirate station called Radio Luxembourg in Europe, and they played this thing called She Loves You. I remember hearing their very first Love Me Do, which I didn't think was, was okay.
Right.
But a couple of months later, they came out with this She Loves You. Wow, it was wonderful. Changed my life.
So the song you reference in your Bad Company song, in Shooting Star, you say Love Me Do, I think it was. But you personally, you'd rather skip over that one and go to She Loves You.
I didn't write that one. Paul...
so that was a Paul Rogers choice.
Yeah, Paul... Well, I think also it made better sense to sing it because...
Right.
You know, you couldn't sing another Beatles song title that would fit in that line. So anyway, it was great. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Do you stay in touch with Paul at all?
No, we do. Yeah, I mean he's a busy lad. He lives up in Vancouver, and we keep in touch now and again. We've been friends for
because you guys were in Free together, right? And then you disbanded and made Bad Company after that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're Free was together about 5 years, and then we broke up in '73 and formed Bad Company with Mick Ralphs and Boz Burrell from Mock the Hoople and King Crimson. What was
the reason for disbanding Free and starting Bad Company instead?
Oh, well, it was a bit like a relationship, a girlfriend. We got tired of each other.
Right.
You know, we were young, and we had that big hit, All Right Now, and we were suddenly touring a lot and traveling everywhere, and, a couple of us weren't even shaving yet. So we had a lot of success at a very young age, and it kind of got the better of us, and we called it quits after around about the late fall of '72, and we formed Bad Company in the spring '73.
And weren't you also in another band shortly after Bad Company, Wildlife?
Yeah, well, Bad Company was, had a lot of stops and starts, and I wanted to keep playing, and I joined forces with this young band. They were a good band called Wildlife, and we did an album, and Yeah, I mean, you do your homework, Jason.
The only reason I mentioned that was because it segued back into, I think you had a track called Charity, so I wanted to, brings it full circle to our charity event here.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, I wrote a song called Charity. Yeah.
So it's been a cause you've been involved with for longer than you even remember. But hey, no, thanks so much for joining us. Any final words about the event?
Other than looking forward to seeing everyone, and let's help these kids as much as we can, so please come along.
Thanks so much, Simon.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time. I wanted to take a second to tell you about an app I really enjoy. Living in the DC area is great, and Podcast DC gathers all of the local shows that I like all in one local app. Health, sports, local news, politics, and so much more. Podcast DC is the new local app with hundreds of DC area podcasts to choose from. I can earn exciting rewards just for listening and share the podcasts I love instantly. Available in the App Store or in Google Play, listen local with Podcast DC.